Dom, you wanted to talk about E3 and this recent news we had, right?
Yes. So I actually learned a little bit about this topic today. So previously, only media folks were invited to E3, and a second level invite, so to speak, was required to go to the actual press conferences that only happen to take place during the week of E3 and aren't necessarily connected. But now, and I believe the price is $250, the public is open to buy tickets to E3. And correct me if I'm wrong on that price, but that's
There's
really
an early
expensive.
bird special. Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's like 150.
yeah, so there's 15,000 tickets. The first 1,000 are 150. The rest of them are 250.
So I haven't paid too much attention to, actually like trying to go to E3 and what it'd be like to go there. I mean, I watch the press conferences every year, or most of them, but I've never like been super into wanting to go or just being there because it never seemed like an attractive idea to me to want to go there, even as someone who's press. Like you mentioned earlier, waiting forever in a line just to play a demo of a game, or just being super crowded, spending a whole ton of money flying over there. And now it would be another $250 for your ticket. It just never seemed like an experience that I'd want to have. I'd much prefer just watching the conferences from my couch at home. It's kind of like the difference of watching a football game at home on a giant TV versus, sitting up in the nosebleeds and spending $1,000 on tickets and food and driving for the day. It gives me that kind of vibe. Now I get 15,000 tickets. That's not too much. I'm sure they'll sell out and make a good chunk of money on this, but I don't know how much those people are going to enjoy it, and they might not see a lot of recurring purchases from those people next year. But I could be wrong. But I don't know. I don't care about this really one way or another. I just kind of want to throw it out there. See what your guys' thoughts are on this whole E3 public ticket ordeal.
I like your comparison to like the NFL thing where, so if you go to an NFL game, the whole thing is like the ambiance and the environment. That's the reason to buy an NFL ticket to go to an NFL game. But the experience and the presentation you get like at home is bar none the best you'll ever get, right?
It's 10 times better.
Yeah. For me personally, E3 seems like something that, and it's kind of like an NFL game to me personally too, it's something you want to attend once just to say you did it. And
yeah, I could see that.
And say you experience it. For people in games press and media, that is like a I made it moment to a lot of people, right? Like I made it. I was able to attend E3 as games media. And I really think that the presentation at home is better than anything you'll get actually being there. Another thing is that the demos that you'll be able to play as a public, just regular person, consumer, is different than the behind closed doors stuff that actual games media gets to play and stuff like that. You won't see a lot of the stuff that they get to see. This is basically I think like a braggers event thing where like you just want to buy the ticket, go, and then tell everybody you went, whereas you actually being there doesn't provide you with anything. In my honest opinion, like as a non-media person, you don't really get anything for your 250. The chance of possibly seeing Hideo Kojima walk by you, maybe. You're not going to be able to take a picture with him. This isn't a convention, this isn't PAX or something. I think
it seems like something that could be cool to go do with a group of friends, maybe.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome as an experience. Like, say for instance, us four were able to go. We lived in LA and we were able to buy tickets and go to it. I think that'd be a cool experience for friends to go and experience together, and maybe not stay the whole day. But if you're somebody just wanting to fly over to experience it because you think it's the Super Bowl of video games, it's not what it is by any means.
Well, I think the important thing to mention too is that, so you said there, like, well, if you did see Hideo Kojima or something walk by, I think the important thing to remember is that this is a work event for everybody in the development side and the publishing side and in the media side. So if you were to go there and see your favorite personalities from IGN or GameSpot or something like that, they're working the event. If you were to go there and see so-and-so developer, they're working the event. So you're not going to be able to really interact with those people. So the main reason you would be going is to essentially play the games. And if they're opening up this many more tickets, that means the lines to play said games are going to be that much longer. My overall opinion on it is that I have wanted to go to E3. I can't tell you how long.
Yep.
I have dreamed of going to E3 since I was a kid. And it's finally kind of like what I forget who said it, either Jared or Dom. It kind of has always seemed to me like if I could get to E3, that would be like the oh crap, I made it moment.
Yeah.
And so I've been working steadily to try to get to that point, and I'm finally this year. I'm trying to save money, but I think I'm finally in a position this year, and I'm with a website this year, and I think I could go to E3 potentially, like as a member of the press, and that's mind-blowing to me, and I'm super excited about that prospect, and I'm really looking forward to that potentially. So in turn, it kind of sucks that the year that I am finally like on the precipice of being able to go as part of the press, it turns out I could have just bought a ticket for the heck of it anyway, which is going to be very limited access again. So I know that having that press pass will be 10 times more valuable if I am able to get it. But it is kind of ironic in my situation, at least, that the year that I finally think I am actually maybe going to be able to attain this goal that I've had for over a decade it's available to the rest of the public.
Yeah, it's like
at
a
least
Seinfeld episode.
People, at least.
Jesus, yeah. I think the interesting thing too is there is a game that can be played here. If you're working hard at stuff, but for some reason you can't get a media pass, and maybe you live within the area, I don't know, it constitutes spending money for a plane ticket, but this is a hidden networking opportunity, and I don't mean that by like, outwardly facing. This isn't a convention where you can't go shake hands with everybody, yada yada yada. But if you're smart about it, you can easily network with people. Print out business cards, and it's a hidden way to network with people because, like you said, it is a business event. So if you approach people,
and that's the main reason why I'm wanting to go. If I'm being honest,
it's a way to network, and if you approach people as peers instead of fans of, then you can definitely make it work in your favor if you're willing to commit to that. Now, should you? I don't know. But yeah, I think it's really weird. I think this is a lot of people have been talking about this as like the people that run E3 are like, we have all this empty space we don't use. We could easily just sell tickets to the public and earn a bunch of money on that, So it's like I see where they're coming from. That's extra revenue that they could just have. It's interesting to me because it does seem that E3 is becoming a more public event with the. I forgot the name of what was the name of the EA press conference last year that was outside of E3?
It was like absolutely amazing. It was called EA Play, Jared.
Yes, there you go.
That's right.
I think it is becoming more of a public facing event, and I don't know how it's going to treat E3. I think it works well the way it is, but if they see that they can sell a bunch of tickets and earn a bunch of revenue from the public going, but actually not experiencing what the media experiences, so it's kind of like they're earning their money and not having to show their hand, essentially, is really interesting.
There's been a lot of talk that.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead,
Logan.
Well, I was just gonna say there's been a lot of talk the last few years too about like, is E3 still relevant? Like that's been a big talking point the past few years, and a bunch of people see them as opening this up to the public as like, well, maybe E3's in a bad spot. Maybe they need to do this in order to, I don't want to say turn a profit, because I don't know if. Obviously, everything's about turning a profit, so of course the event is there to make money. But at the same time, like, where does E3 stand as like a convention, an annual convention now? Like, is it on its last legs? Are we in a few years? Is there going to be no E3? I don't think that's the case by any means. But this is an interesting snafu, and I don't know. I'm wondering why they are doing this, adding the tickets to the 15,000 tickets to the public. That is.
Yeah, it's really weird. Jordan, do you think this is 100% for profit? Do you think there's like, are they trying to turn this into Comic-Con? Like, what do you think?
I'm not sure. I think they are trying to change with the times and keep it relevant, though, because, we are living in a time where developers and publishers are giving more access to the gamer than ever before, and it is more connected in that sense. So not having public tickets available would be a mistake in this day and age moving forward. So I think that's a smart idea. As far as me personally, when I was a kid, I totally wanted to go to E3. I've been watching the press conferences forever, and it's kind of weird how slowly but surely the dream has just diminished over the years. And at this point, to be honest, I don't want to go to E3 at all. It used to be like if I had said that, if I could go back in time and tell myself that, I'd like slap myself in the face. But at this point, it's like, nah, the streams are in HD. I can see the press conference. I can see gameplay footage of the games that are being played on the show floor. I don't have to wait in line. I get to sit at home, and I basically just have, like 3 or 4 days where I chill out and just stream all day and kind of work it out on my schedule. And then, there's no expenses, there's no travel, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I mean, even in the future, I don't know if I could see myself going, because I'd have to have, like, some weird VIP situation where I just wasn't facing all these lines, because otherwise I think it would just kind of break down the experience for me.
Yeah, make it even worse for going than not ever going at all. Yeah, totally see you there.
So I enjoy E3 week is still a big thing for me, and I really enjoy kind of hunkering down and having those few days to just chill. But as far as taking the trip, I don't know for me personally.
Yeah,
I'll just say that the three of you having an aversion to wanting to go, it sounds like at this point in your lives, has definitely made me feel better about my passion for video games still. Not to say that any of you don't, but I often ask myself that a lot of times, like, do I still really like video games the same amount that I used to? And hearing that it's kind of worn off on you guys throughout the years, you're wanting to go to E3 has definitely made me feel better, I guess, in my own mind, that I still consider it the mecca of video games or something like that. So
I still love video games the same, but I'm just averse to large sweaty crowds.
Yeah.
So I think
I went to PSX. It's kind of it's a jarring experience. I loved it in the end, but by the end of that weekend, I was like, all right, I think I'm ready to go back to my hotel and lay down for a couple of minutes. It is tough.
Yeah, I'm down to go as media. Just going as like a public participant strikes no interest to me. Like if I'm there covering the games and writing and finding out about all this stuff first and relaying that to a bunch of people who really care about it, that's one thing. I'm super excited to do that. But to buy a ticket to attend it publicly, I'm like, I can save that $250. There's a difference there. Like attending it as like media or press, that intrigues me fully. Attending it as a public member, just why? No, thank you.
Jared, I'll tell you, if we figure out hover pack technology in the next couple of years, I could see myself doing it, because then I could just float right over the crowds and just hop into whatever booth I'm looking for. So
if only
that could turn my decision around.
I don't even think the $250 price tag's that bad, honestly.
No.
But it's the flight to LA. It's the hotels that are going to be hiked up throughout that week. It's the $50 Uber you're going to have to take into the city from LAX. Like, it's all of that stuff that, in my mind, is like, oh, okay, that's the expensive part of the trip. The $250 is manageable.
$250 ticket, but thousands of dollars for that.
The only plus of this is it's not in San Francisco, because then you'd be homeless by the end of it.
Oh my gosh.